The newsroom, where you see and hear for yourself details of important events the world over. Now, here's Frank McGee.
Good evening, friends. The White House is warming up for entry into the longshoremen strike. Great Britain is resorting to oil rationing now that Middle Eastern supplies are cut off by the clogged Suez Canal. The United Nations is debating a resolution calling on Russia to permit observers into Hungary, and the Montgomery City Commission says it will ask the United States Supreme Court for a rehearing on its decision outlawing racial segregation on city buses. The White House is putting on pressure to end the longshoremen strike that has halted shipping along the Atlantic and Gulf Coast for the past 5 days. President Eisenhower is prepared to invoke the national emergency provisions of the Taft-Hartley law unless negotiations still underway in New York produce a settlement, and quickly. At the same time, the White House is pictured as about giving up hope that these New York talks will succeed. Now, if the Taft-Hartley law is invoked, a fact-finding board would be appointed, investigate, report to the president. Then the Justice Department could ask a federal court injunction, which would have the effect of ending the strike for at least 80 days, while efforts are made to reach a permanent solution. And you are watching here, actually, the disappearance of some $700,000 in cash. This is the port of Mobile, Alabama, shut down as a part of the longshoremen's walkout that has halted all shipping along both the Atlantic and Gulf coasts. The normal contrast between these scenes of absolute idleness is ships arriving from all over the globe, notably from South America, pulling into the huge docking facility to be unloaded with their freight consigned to hundreds of points in the nation's interior. And that activity produces about $140,000 every day in revenue for the port. But the walkout has caused 14 ships to be tied up in the port waiting to discharge their cargo. Only one ship has been unloaded since the walkout began, and that was the banana boat, which stevedores agreed to empty before the perishable cargo was ruined. Local union officials say that no strike order has actually been given at Mobile, and no picket lines have been set up. The dock workers simply are not showing up for work. And 1,500 delegates representing Alabama's 74,000 Masons ended their annual meeting this afternoon with a tour of the Masonic home on Vaughn Road here in Montgomery. The tour included a look at the 276-acre farm, which for the last 2 years has produced more than $30,000 worth of foodstuffs, more than enough to take care of the home's 100 old people and needy children. The farm is operated on recommendations by the Auburn Extension Service and is a model of the latest and most productive methods coming out of the experiment stations. Many visitors from all over the nation have come to see this demonstration farm. The Masons can rightly be proud of the 43 years' success which the home and the farm represents. That's the news as we have it at 6 o'clock. Crawford Rice reports again tonight at 10. Right now, Heinz Walters is standing by with details of the weather. Thank you very much, and good evening.
The newsroom presentation is dedicated to your right to know. 3 times daily, see and hear for yourself details of important events the world over.
For quality, purity, and freshness, there's nothing quite so good as Dairyland Farm's Centennial Ice Cream. Chock full of the finest ingredients to be found, then blended just right to bring you that magic Centennial flavor. It's by far the richest, sweetest, tastiest ice cream you've ever eaten. Yes, Dairyland Farm's Centennial Ice Cream is flavored just right. But what's more important is Centennial Ice Cream is... I don't know what's wrong with me now.
Hi there. Seems that on our circuits here at the station this afternoon, the top temperature that I could find happened to be down at Laredo, Texas, and that top temperature was 88 degrees right on the Schnozola. Up in Montana and Wyoming, it was quite a different story this morning. Up there, we had a temperature, a rather miserable beginning for November the 20th, of 17 degrees below zero at Big Piney, but that wasn't as bad as it got. Up at West Yellowstone, it got down to 20 degrees below zero up there, and those were the 2 coldest places and the warmest place that I could find on our circuits here today. The weather map reads, as I get the low pressure cell going up towards the northeast, the frontal system off towards the east, here is why you should take a look-see at an IH. Didn't quite get it on there. That's supposed to be Turkey Day up there. The rest of the forecast goes something like this. For tomorrow, beginning tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, increasing cloudiness, quite windy conditions, winds generally ranging around 15 to 20 miles an hour out of the south through our section here. Occasional gusts just a little stronger than that. The highest temperature will be up around the maximum reading that we had today. And today over the state, upstate, it ranged from 70 to 75 degrees. Also through the central area here, 70 to 75, and down through the extreme southern sections, it was running from 75 up to 80 degrees, and that's about the way it should be tomorrow also. Tomorrow afternoon, let's say late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, scattered showers, then becoming scattered thunder showers by along about 10 o'clock tomorrow night. And that front, as we said, should be between Selma and Tuscaloosa along about tomorrow night this time, and if it continues as it should on through our section here, we will have it through the Montgomery area along about 10:20 or 10:30 tomorrow night. Oh, by George, the forecast temperature for tomorrow night then. Let's put a big old 50 degrees on the board here. Considerably cooler up to the northwest, warmer down towards the southeast, naturally enough. Our lowest temperature here last night was an even Steven 45 degrees, and the high coast fishermen down Pensacola way, high tide 2 minutes past the witching hour tonight, midnight. I guess that's just about the way the thing is shaping up. It looks pretty good for Turkey Day right through the central areas, not too short down towards the southeast. See you come 10:20. Till then, take care and fare thee well.
Heinz Walters, the weatherman, is presenting Sports Report. 15 minutes of late news and pictures from around the world of sports with your sports reporter, Leroy Paul.
Well, good evening, everybody, and here's the sports news as we have it right up to the moment. First of all, for the second time this season, the powerful Sooners of Oklahoma have regained the #1 spot in the Associated Press poll to determine the nation's best football team. Earlier this year, you may recall, Michigan State captured that coveted #1 spot for 1 week, but the very next week, Oklahoma came back to defeat Notre Dame 40-0, and they were #1 again. Well, this past week over at Grant Field in Atlanta, Georgia, the Tennessee Volunteers, week before last it actually was, took the measure of the Georgia Tech Engineers 6-0, and as a result, they were #1. Well, this past week, Oklahoma went back into the #1 position on the basis of their 67-14 trouncing of Missouri last Saturday. Here are the top 10 in order according to the Associated Press. Oklahoma #1, Tennessee #2, Iowa #3, Texas A&M #4, Georgia Tech #5, Miami of Florida #6, Minnesota 7, Syracuse 8, Michigan 9, and Michigan State 10. 11, Oregon State, 12, Ohio State, 13, Florida, 14, Pittsburgh, 15, Navy, 16, Baylor, 17, George Washington, 18, Texas Christian, Wyoming 19th, and Colorado #20. Well, speaking of bowl-bound football teams, top-ranking Tennessee faced Mississippi before a crowd of 42,000 at Knoxville. Mississippi was trying for an upset, and one of its big weapons, the passing of Ray Brown. He starts throwing from the opening whistle. It's Brown to Lee Palsy, and Mississippi moves to the 3-yard line. Then it was Brown who went around his own right end for the touchdown. And Tennessee dropped behind for the first time this year. But the Volunteers came back quickly when a second stringer, Bobby Gordon, crashed 11 yards on one plunge and then runs 18 yards around right end for the score. Tennessee pushing across to tie the score up. Then Mississippi's passing attack backfires early in the third period. Tennessee fullback Tommy Brunson intercepts one of Brown's bullets and gallops 52 yards to score. And now it's the Volunteers who are ahead 14-7 on the basis of that beautiful run back with the intercepted pass. Mississippi's hopes for victory are definitely stopped as the Volunteers step up their air and ground attack. Tennessee tops a 57-yard drive as Carl Smith smashes through center on a 31-yard run into the end zone and the third TD. Watch it. And there you see beautiful blocking in action. Then with the Volunteers leading 21-7, Tennessee's Bobby Gordon and Carl Smith again put on an offensive show. This time it's a 55-yard march, with Gordon running 30 yards down to the 12. Then Smith through center for the touchdown, and the final score, 27-7. And he's home free. It's another Tennessee victory in their bid to remain unbeaten and untied. Again, one of the powerhouses of the Southeast. Quarterback.
It's the newsroom with Crawford Rice. Third Army Headquarters in Atlanta says it will investigate a huge mysterious hole which appeared on a farm in northwest Alabama. The big hole, which measures about 48 feet in length and 4 feet in width and depth, was found last week by William Blackburn on his farm at Red Bay, Alabama, which is in Franklin County. Blackburn told officials he found the oversized trench after hearing what he described as a roaring noise and a big explosion last Monday. However, he did not report his find to officials until this past weekend. There are several smaller holes around the big one, and the barbed wire fence in the vicinity has been broken in several places with the wire fused together as if by heat. Third Army has sent 3 bomb disposal experts and a counterintelligence officer to look the place over and then make a report. Embarrassed officials of Delta Airlines are hard at work today trying to figure out some way to get one of their big 4-engined airliners back in service. The plane's pilot had planned to land at the airport in Jackson, Mississippi. He talked with the Jackson Tower by radio and had received landing clearance and instructions. But it was nighttime, and all the pilot could see below were the lights of a landing field. What he didn't know was that the field was not Jackson, but Yazoo City, which is 40 miles away, and that it did not have a paved runway, but instead one that was little more than a mud strip in the wake of recent rains. Well, down came the plane to a soft, squishy landing, and as soon as its speed had slowed enough, down went the wheels in the mud mire. The big plane is still sitting there at this moment, stuck hard and fast. Delta officials say they'll try to attach jet rockets to the plane to give it extra lift and push. They'll take out all the seats and most of the gasoline to lighten the weight load, and they'll lay some steel mats over the runway. After that, what can they do but cross their fingers and crank her up?
WSFA TV News was singly responsible for bringing about rule changes in the Alabama State Legislature to allow sound-on-film coverage from the floor of the legislature itself. This had been previously banned, and we proceeded to take full advantage of this new privilege.
Now, gentlemen, time has passed. We have been here in this session now for several weeks, and we have not moved forward but a very short distance.
Mr. Lloyd Stark. Good morning, Mr. Stark.
Good morning, Catherine. How are you?
Fine. Are you married, Mr. Stark?
Yes, I am,
How about children?
We have 5.
5 children. Mr. Lloyd.
Friends, I have here a picture of one of the 357 Ford Fairlanes the Montgomery Quick Check stores are giving away absolutely free. Now, all you do is register. You don't have to be present to win, and the drawing will be held November 5th. Right now, I'd like to remind you of this free booklet with Leroy Pauls and my picture on the front. It contains vital statistics of the Auburn Tigers and their opponents, and they're free. You'll find them near the checkout stand at your favorite Quick Check store. We hope you'll call at Quick Check, pick up this free booklet, and keep posted on the Auburn Tigers as they tackle Georgia Tech in Atlanta next week. And wear your most comfortable shoes, because it'll be stand-up excitement all the way when Auburn tangles with Georgia Tech at 1 o'clock next Sunday on Auburn Football.
For Halloween, Christmas, be here for long, trying to get ready for it.
A lot of fruitcake of materials, I
Yes,
noticed.
it's about time to start baking cakes.
Well, it's been such a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Lloyd Stark, manager of Quick Check Mount Meg store.
Thank you.
Mama, it's a fuel man. Mama, it's the fuel man.
Known throughout Alabama as a thorough sports editor and an accomplished play-by-play telecaster. Bob.
Red Dagger, New York State's finest, a light, sweet grape wine. Serve it chilled, it's delicious. You'll like its light ruby color, and you'll love its tantalizing taste. Red Dagger makes any food taste better, or serve it as a refreshment. Next time, ask for Red Dagger from Ben R. Goldsman Company, where only the finest wines are made. Ask for it by name. Red Dagger. You'll like it.
Hello, I'm Carl Stevens, and this is my partner, Jack Venable. We'll bring you all the exciting play-by-play action of the 27th Annual Blue-Gray Classic from Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama.
Well,